The goal of this project is to reduce RN vacancy on the oncology unit, primarily through reducing stress. This should in turn reduce the turnover rate. Although not measured in this particular project, reduced stress would also likely reduce the number of sick days an employee takes. First, I'll briefly summarize the content discussed in the last presentation. An action plan will then be discussed. The theory of change guiding this improvement project will be examined, followed by measures of success and hypothetical outcomes. Previously, the oncology unit was examined using a SWOT analysis. Weaknesses on the unit included high amounts of stress and dissatisfaction, as well as a high turnover rate. An aim statement was developed to reduce RN stress and burnout so that the annual turnover rate will be less than 15% by December of 2018. It was established that RNs would be the stakeholders in this scenario. The action plan will consist of 4 components. First, all employees will attend a stress and burnout management class. Second, a policy of positivity will be implemented. Third, the work environment will be modified to be more calming. Fourth, the scheduling process will be modified. A class on stress, burnout, and compassion fatigue will be designed and taught by the nurse educator. All employees will be required to take this class. The class will take 1 day to teach and will be offered multiple times over a 6-week period so that all employees on all shifts are able to attend. In order to measure the effectiveness of the class, the Copenhagen Burnout Inventory will be used. This test will be discussed in more detail later in the presentation. Providing positive feedback and acknowledgement is an extremely powerful way to increase employee satisfaction and retention. It is important that positive feedback be given to all employees. For this reason, management will be sure to give individualized positive feedback to each employee at least once per month. In addition to this, group positive feedback should be given regularly. In addition to positive feedback from management, employees should be encouraged to provide one another with positive feedback. One way to accomplish this would be to post a thank you board in an employee area where employees could post positive notes to one another. Implementing an employee-voted Employee of the Unit program would also be another way to provide positive acknowledgement. Modifying the workplace environment can assist in lowering levels of stress. Studies have shown that indoor plants in a workplace lower stress and blood pressure. In addition to this, small gestures such as providing herbal tea or other refreshments to the employees can help to create a calming environment. The nurse leader could reach out to local massage therapy schools to find volunteers or students to give chair massages on a regular basis. These are only a few ideas to modify the workplace. Brainstorming with other nurses would certainly produce even more ideas. A simple internet search will reveal many creative ways that companies are approaching scheduling. Although the 24/7 nature of nursing work does not allow for extremely flexible scheduling, there are options to give nurses autonomy and freedom with their schedules. One method would be self-scheduling, in which nurses choose what shifts they would like to work, with the understanding that all gaps must be filled. This intervention is full of complexities and would require testing on the unit to monitor its effectiveness, but it could be very effective to lower unit stress. Lewin's change theory consists of 3 parts: unfreezing, moving or change, and refreezing. This can be compared to thawing an ice cube, putting the water into a different container, and then refreezing it. During the unfreezing phase, it is important to communicate with staff why change is needed. Sharing statistics about employee turnover and anonymous results of the Copenhagen Burnout Inventory may be one way to demonstrate the need for change. During the change phase, resistance will likely be met. Employees may have negative feelings about the stress management class or mock the thank you board, but it's important to stay positive and remind employees how the changes are going to have a positive impact. Finally, during the refreezing phase, it is important to be sure that the changes stick. Perhaps the educator will have to design a short refresher course on stress management for the employees to take each year. New employees should be given stress management tools. If plants are brought into the environment, then someone must take the responsibility of watering and caring for the plants. If simple tasks like these are neglected, it is likely that the employees will slide back into old ways of thinking and the change will not be permanent. A useful process measure will be the Copenhagen Burnout Inventory, or CBI. Employees will take this test before taking the stress management class, and then again at 30 and 90 days after taking the class. This test consists of multiple questions designed to measure multiple aspects of workplace and personal burnout. It is scored from 0 to 100, with 0 being no signs of burnout and 100 being extreme burnout. This test is available for free, so it will not incur any additional costs on the unit. The goal of this test is to monitor whether or not the interventions are having an effect on employees' stress levels. A graph is provided here to demonstrate hypothetical data using the CBI. On this graph, CBI scores are organized into 4 groups from mild to severe burnout. The green bars represent no burnout or mild burnout, while the orange and red bars represent moderate and severe levels of burnout. After taking the class, the number of employees experiencing moderate or severe burnout is reduced. In order to monitor the overall effectiveness of the interventions, the monthly and yearly employee turnover rates will be monitored. If the interventions are successful, the turnover rate should be reduced. This line graph presents a hypothetical data situation on the monthly turnover rates. In this case, the interventions were started in June. A marked decrease in the monthly employee turnover rate can be observed. Burnout and stress are problems in every industry, but healthcare can be particularly stressful. Using the interventions listed in this presentation, the employees on the oncology unit will hopefully become much more satisfied in their work and be able to provide high-quality patient care. Reduced turnover rates will also save the unit money that can be spent in other positive ways.